3 days in Haiti, a life-changing experience. The group of 14 people who left Rochester Friday to help finish and dedicate an orphanage say they came back changed. Our reports about the work being done there by Interval, Rochester General Hospital, and Constellation Brands airs tonight and Friday at 10 and 11. Today, the mission to Haiti in their words.
No, I had no idea what to expect because you hear all this sort of rumors and you watch the news and so on.
But I thought I knew what was going to be here. But when I got here, I was absolutely amazed and devastated by the absolute poverty.
And despite the worst possible conditions that we as Americans could ever manage and we take for granted, they have a meaningful life. They get up, they try to contribute, they laugh, they sing, they smile, and that's amazing under these conditions.
They have nothing, and yet they have each other. One little girl yesterday was braiding the other one's hair, and she was like licking on it to make sure it would all stick together. And I thought, how many kids would do that at home?
It made us feel good to help, but more so made us feel good about the people here.
And you can get the spark going, although it can be overwhelming. If you can focus on a couple small areas, that's where the inspiration comes in. That's where you walk away saying, it does count, it does matter.
I can't do anything about their future. But what we're doing at the orphanage, we can make every day that they stay there better than it is today.
It's nice to see that our group and some other, the groups that are here now have stuck it out and stayed 4 years on, and they're still here, still trying to make a difference. And so it's really important that people don't forget it.
Look at what we've accomplished, and to see the progress, albeit slow, but progress is great. And sad is to be able to actually go back home and realize there's so much more I wish I could stay here and do.
My approach to parenting will be different. I think we need to focus more on giving back rather than receiving.
Okay. And I'm glad we could live our promise and give this to you for your kids.
There's actually a sense of something happening here. Everywhere I go, there are volunteers. Africa, everywhere. It's very impressive. And it's a privilege, really, because you can get out of something, you can have fun, and do something useful.
It was emotional for all. You get home and the experience stays with you. I think that's why so many people from here return. There is still so much work to be done. Tonight, life in Haiti and how local volunteers are trying to make a meaningful, lasting impact.
Important donation from Constellation is that plane that brings those people back and forth.
Right. It all started with the earthquake. There was no way to ferry those doctors in and medical supplies. They went to Constellation, asked for the planes. They said sure. And every year since, they volunteered the planes. We were invited to go along on this trip, and it doesn't sound like there's any end in sight to that transportation. It's really key in the ease and travel back and forth, and local doctors and nurses spend their own money normally to get back and forth to these places.
Right.
4 years ago this month, 21 seconds that would change the lives of Haitians forever. A magnitude 7.0 earthquake hit an already fragile, impoverished country. 4 years later, billions of dollars in aid has brought progress. But it comes slowly in a country where many Haitians lack the most basic needs before disaster struck. 14 volunteers from Rochester General Hospital, Interval, and Constellation Brands went to Haiti this past week to help with that progress. 13 WHAM went along, and as we found out, the problems are complex and staggering. On the road out of Port-au-Prince, Cité Soleil, one of the world's largest slums, bustles with activity. People are going places, but very few are going to work. Unemployment here is as high as 80%. People must go places to find the very basics, food and water. 30 miles away at our destination, an orphanage in Léogâne, the group from Rochester sees life up close. The kitchen is 2 pots over an open fire to feed 46 children. The laundry done by hand. Shelter is 3 shacks, 2 and 3 children to a bed. Life is so hand-to-mouth that some of the bunk beds built by local volunteers on the last trip had to be burned for firewood. The desperation from the pastor who leads the orphanage is clear.
My head is for the kids. And I think I cannot buy anything for the kids. And I use all to make the fire, to prepare for food for the kids. I cannot stay. I'm crying because I have not money.
For most Haitians, nothing comes to you, certainly not electricity or water. But if you want health care, at this orphanage, the only way to get it is if it comes to you. And that's where Interval comes in. It works with similar groups across the country to coordinate medical care. Word of mouth, but it works.
It's very fragile. I would agree with you completely, but there's no alternative. Probably about 80% of Haitians don't have real access to health care, if you look at it. And those that live in the remote villages have little or none.
Okay, tip that. On this trip, Dr. Elizabeth Murray of Golisano Children's Hospital treated each child for pink eye and gave them fluoride treatments. In the ED, she typically sees 20 children a day. Here, she treated 46 in a morning.
Putting in those eye drops and all those kids at home, I think they would be losing their minds. You know, why are you touching me? I don't want to sit still. And these little children tip their heads back, and some hurt them a little bit, but they knew that it was a good thing, and they wanted the medicine, they wanted to feel better, and they wanted the help. So this is for the ringworm.
Dr. Murray then taught the pastor how to continue with the treatments and left behind enough medicine donated by Strong Hospital and employees to get it done. That kind of sustainability is a centerpiece of what Dr. Ralph Panino and others are trying hard to achieve here.
Good intentioned people come in, they do a building project, they do this, they do that, and it's great, but when they leave, what have they left behind? You need to leave something behind that people can take care of themselves.
A part of Rochester, now a part of this orphanage in Léogâne, Haiti. Something left behind, and volunteers who say they will be taking away something much more. And local efforts there are not over. The next plan is to help build a dining hall for that orphanage. And today we learned the Rotary Club in Léogâne, Haiti has agreed to set up education grants for the kids in the orphanage. Working with Interval here, they plan to set up their website so people can donate to it. Another attempt to make a lasting, meaningful impact in Haiti. A week ago today, a group from Rochester's Mission to Haiti began. Those there for the first time were struck by the abject poverty. The second thing that strikes you, the unfinished buildings. Cinder block shells fill the landscape, a symbol of a country in many ways left behind. So when leaders of Interval and Constellation Brands saw the need for an orphanage, they were determined not to be yet another unfulfilled promise. In a city still marked by the 2010 earthquake, down a bumpy dirt road, in the middle of a sugarcane field, there are signs of life. This is the soon-to-be Home of Hope orphanage for 46 children. It's also a promise made to the pastor who runs it by leaders of Interval and Constellation Brands. 2 years of planning and $60,000 in local donations made this happen. These local volunteers came to help finish it.
It's not just throwing up bunkhouses. These people always hear promises, and people don't follow through. They're well-intended, but they don't follow through.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad because the life one kids are going to change.
Most importantly, this is a home, but these 4 walls also represent an opportunity for rebuilding in Haiti and jobs in a country where the unemployment rate is 80%. Haitians have been hired to do most of the work. Off-site, the wood is measured and cut. A foundation set up by a Watertown construction company is funding the construction here of buildings like the orphanage.
Our whole goal is, we employ 19 people here in Haiti, and it's for them to take over what we're doing.
The things that are working down here are granular, and there are things that are starting organically from the bottom up, like this.
A plastic surgeon in his Rochester life, here Dr. Tim O'Connor made windows for the orphanage. He co-founded Interval with Dr. Panino. Doctors who know their ability to care for people in Haiti extends beyond medicine. They've learned to network Haitian style and tap local resources like Constellation Brands.
There's not too many companies, I think, that rise to that level and don't need to know the detail. Just know that it's going to get taken care of and that we're going to make a difference.
In 2 days, the difference is visible.
I'm glad we could live our promise and give this to you for your kids.
The Home of Hope is dedicated, and the emotions among the volunteers is palpable.
I'm very encouraged. Everywhere I go, there are volunteers. Africa, you're. It's very impressive, and it's a privilege, really.
Signs of life, a promise fulfilled, and local volunteers who will never forget this mission to Haiti. There are local volunteers with Interval still in Haiti tonight. I would not be surprised, Don, if another local group, similar to the one that went down, went back, built the dining hall that they promised the pastor, and the kids should be in their new home in about 2 weeks, and it's going to come with beds and the whole thing with the money that was donated from here.
Wonderful series, and so enlightening to see what our people are doing down there.
Really an incredible collective effort.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thanks again.